the chance to purchase some of the new Chanel items. And if you're new here, sometimes I will unbox things close up, and of course I will do a try on, but this gives you a good idea of what it looks like up close, and sometimes I'll do some comparisons if there's anything that's close. We have some recommendations here, and those of you who know me know that I have a contact at Chanel who's amazing. So Margaret put this together because I wasn't quite sure how to use everything, so she charted these for me, and we're going to try and follow this when I apply the products. So thank you so much, Margaret, for this. So we have some of the brand new products, and we've got the eyeshadow blush palette in 957 Tendresse. We've got the mascara in Rouge Grenat, which is supposed to have more red than the previous one, which I didn't really see much red at all. And I picked a nail shade as well. And then samples, as always, I love Chanel samples, perfect travel products. And I found one more here. If you ever do have a chance to select Chanel samples, I suggest the Luminous. This is the cleansing cream to foam, and it's a really great cleanser. A little goes a long way. Again, excellent for the travel. Let's look at the nail shade first in 969. And I think there's one that was a little bit more orangey, I'm gonna say. This one seemed to have a little bit more of a pink tone. Ooh, that's really pretty. It looks a lot like the lip shades that I like. I'm gonna actually apply it. My nails are not painted right now, but I will apply this for you at the end after I swatch everything. It's like a rose with a hint of warmth. Then we've got here a mascara, and I've tried, I think, all of their mascaras. This is number 17 Rouge Grenat, and this is supposed to have more red than that previous one, which wasn't my favorite. That one had a hint of red, but this is supposed to have more. There wasn't much information at this point, so I'm just going off of what Margaret shared with me. Let's take a look. Here's the packaging, and then it's got the same mechanism here. So yeah, well, that's not just a hint of red, that's got like a pink tone in it. I did not expect that. I thought it was gonna be just a mix, but we're gonna see how this looks. Oh wow, okay, I don't have anything like this. Actually, let me swatch this really fast on my wrist. So that is like the color of a lip shade that would be ideal for me. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like on my eyes. Or if we'll be able to see it. Oh, I'm really intrigued by this. So I feel like this has the potential to be something really amazing or a fail. So of course we will try all of this on. And I looked at the wand too. I noticed there's an iridescence to the product. So we'll see if it catches the light when I use it on my eyelashes. And then there were two shades of this. Let me show you the swatch because actually Margaret swatched them both for me, because she was trying to help me figure out which one to get, but this one seemed to be a better bet. It had a little bit more brown in it than the other one. Okay, so the palette itself is larger than normal. In fact, let me see, it might be the same size as the highlighter from the Holiday. Let me just grab that. If you have the Holiday highlighter, this one that I barely used, they appear to be a similar size in terms of the case. So it's that large. Really curious about this. This is probably something I didn't need because I don't love all of the shades in here, but I thought the whole idea of it being versatile was interesting, and I wanted to see if it was any different than the current products that I have by Chanel, and I have quite a bit, so let's take a look. Yeah, you can see here we have peachy tones. Even in that upper left-hand corner, it's got like almost a brick element to it. Very close to the shade of the nail polish. Let me pull that in a moment. Then you have that more browny tone, but I think, yeah, out of the two, this one is gonna be the best bet for my coloring. And there's the nail shade next to it, so you can get a reference. We're gonna use this chart to help us with the whole application. Did want to give you a close-up of this, I forgot. There's just the slightest bit of texture on the top, as if it's been embossed with something, like a fabric. So you can see here just on my fingertips, the difference. Like this one right here is that pink shade right here. So there's a lot more of a reflective quality there. So we're gonna try all these on, and for reference, this is the Spring 2023 collection, the one that we've been seeing with, I think there's a lavender, or all the pastels. That's the summer collection that will be coming out a little bit later, but this is the spring collection. I'm just gonna show you application on one nail, what this looks like, because to me that tells a lot about a nail varnish or nail polish. Is that application. It tells me a lot about the brush and how easy it's going to be to apply. So let's take a look at this, and then I'll show you a completed manicure, not manicure, but I will show you what it looks like on. Okay, so that's one coat. It went on pretty evenly and the brush was nice and even. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply 2 coats here and see what it looks like on. So the application was pretty even. I went over it with a top coat, just a clear top coat. But yeah, really nice brush on this, as well as the evenness of the color. It applied really nicely. My nails are very short right now because they're kind of brittle, so I'm keeping them short. But I really like this color. There's a bit of a salmon element in here, which is why I think it works really well on my skin tone, and really happy I picked this up. And this also just came in from Chantecaille. They kindly sent this over, so let's take a look and see what we've got. We've got the Spring 2023 Wild Meadows collection. This is limited edition, and it's inspired by the endless wildflower meadows in the rolling hills of Romania. You can see the beautiful products we've got: an eyeshadow palette, 2 blushes, and 3 lip cheeks. And I'm really, really excited about the blushes because I love blush. And then we have a lovely photo of Sylvie Chantecaille here. This wild beauty is what true biodiversity looks like. We must protect it. And there's this lovely pale yellow cosmetic bag that says Chantecaille on it. And we got one of their brushes in there. I can see I've just washed a couple of them because I love them so much, and I was going to use that with this palette. So let's take that out. Oh, and actually, I don't think I have this one. This is their Precision Blend brush. It's more tapered than the Shade and Sweet brush that I love. So I'll be trying that out with this look to see how it goes. Actually, I'll probably use both of the brushes, the Shade and Sweet and this one. Oh, and I just realized there are snaps here on the bag, and I do love and use the makeup bags that they send over, so really beautiful spring shade. And if you notice a 25 on the packaging, it's because it is 25 years of Chantecaille this year. Let's take a look at the palette first. This is the Wild Meadows Eye Quartet. You've got the flower image on the front, and then the packaging here is in a gold metal finish. Oh, really beautiful. Here's a nice close-up of it. I don't think I saw this finish in the images. It was a little bit more muted looking, like this shade right here. They looked more like that kind of finish in each of the colors, but I can see there's a glow on at least 3 of them, and then maybe a matte in that lower right-hand corner. I'm expecting a lovely kind of sheen on this, especially based on the images I've seen of the models wearing it. So looking forward to see how that looks on. But you've got these beautiful neutrals and then that lovely pink shade. Pink is not one of the shadows that I prefer, but I'm really excited to try this one. This first shade is described as a soft radiant gold with a creamy iridescent finish. This shade is described as a fresh flattering pink with a sparkling satin finish. So it's a little bit more fine in terms of reflective particles. The shade is a pearlized rosy mauve with a creamy iridescent finish. These two are iridescent compared to this one, which is satin. Then we have here a dusky rose taupe with a silky matte finish. And I already did a look with these and I love this palette. This looks very different on though, I have to say, than it does even swatched here. So kind of went in reverse this time, doing a look and then swatching. And when you see the try on, you're going to see how different this looks on the eye. These are the two that I was most excited about because I love blush. We have 2, one in Apple Blossom and one in Anemone. This one is Apple Blossom, and then this one has more of a beautiful icy blue metallic finish on the packaging. I love that shade. I think it's so beautiful. Okay, that looks gorgeous. I'm so excited to try this. I want to see how much of a glow it has. It looks like it has a little bit of a glow, and this is one of those beautiful makeup products that I really have a hard time disrupting because it looks so beautiful, but of course we will try it. Very excited about this. The shade Apple Blossom is described as a soft, fresh pink. And after I tried these on, they reminded me of just the consistency of a couple of other blushes, so we'll take a look. And then we've got Anemone. And this has a beautiful green metallic finish on the packaging as well as the image of the flower. Another really stunning blush to look at. I think it's a little tricky to pick up on the differences when shown individually, so let me go ahead and show them side by side just so you can see the difference and compare in case you just wanted to pick up one. But of course, I will try them on, let's see, one on one side, one on the other, and then I will probably combine them just so we can see how they work together. Now we've got this side by side. You can see one is brighter and a little bit lighter than the other one. And the one on the right there is deeper, it's more muted, but they look like they have a similar finish on them, a slight sheen. But again, looks can be deceiving on these blushes. Sometimes they don't provide a lot of glow and sometimes they provide more glow than anticipated. So make sure to tune into the try-ons so you can see them on. Next up is Anemone. It's a vivid raspberry. And when I tried this on, I could see a little bit more of a reflective quality to this one versus Apple Blossom. And I think you can see it here. Actually, I'm looking quite closely and I can see there's a little bit more of a detectable reflective property to this one than Apple Blossom. Very, very slight difference, but I can see it. It did remind me a little bit of this one, Whale Shark by Chantecaille. It was one of my very first blushes that I really fell in love with by Chantecaille. This and Manta Ray. Actually, Manta Ray was the one that I really loved. This is a Manta Ray shade, which doesn't look anything like the other two. So this is more corally if you were looking for that. Actually, I can swatch it just so you can see. That right there is Manta Ray, and as you can see, the finishes are very similar looking though. So if you liked the finish of Manta Ray, you might want to look at these, but you can see how pink these new ones are. That's why I wanted to swatch the Whale Shark also. And when I did the try-on, I couldn't remember the name. It's Whale Shark though. And if you liked Whale Shark, Apple Blossom looks very similar, but let's swatch and see how similar they are. Okay, so this time I put Whale Shark over here, and this is Apple Blossom. So this is the brand new blush, and this is Whale Shark. So there's a slight difference in the tone, but the finish looks very similar. Like this looks a little bit more of like a powdery pink versus this one. There's a little bit more depth here, but they do remind me a little bit of each other. So if you missed out on Whale Shark and you wanted something similar, I think Apple Blossom might be a really good choice. These were some of my very favorite blushes ever, and so these blushes remind me of these. I thought I'd just pull this out just to see the difference because it reminded me of the finish, not necessarily the shade. This is by Chanel. This was the blush and highlighter duo. Here's that Chanel blush, which also reminds me a lot of Manta Ray, but a little bit softer. But you can see the finish is, again, very similar to the finishes here, which is my favorite kind of finish on a blush. So if you love the kinds of blushes I love, you're gonna love these as well. And then make sure to tune in because I do try this one on and this, even though they look a little bit close here, they are quite different. So I'll try them side by side and then I will also combine them. And then we got these three beautiful lip cheeks, one of their most popular products. And I love that they come out with a few choices because it usually covers most of us when it comes to depth and shades. First one we'll look at is Meadow. Ooh, that is really pretty. I love the combination of the green and pink. I think that's so beautiful. That one's definitely brighter. It's got a peachy tone to it, so it's got some warmth to it. So we'll have to see how this looks on me because typically lighter shades don't work as well, but we'll give them all a try, maybe without a lip liner and then with, just because applying lip liner helps even out my lip tone before I add something lighter. Beautiful shade though. Meadow is described as a peachy nude. Next up, Carpathia. I love how they are able to incorporate images onto their packaging and still make it look very tasteful, very classic. I've got a more bold shade here. It's brighter and It does have like a punchier tone to it, kind of like a watermelon tone. So it'll be fun to try this one on. I think this one might really brighten up my complexion. Carpathia is described as a soft apricot blush. Lastly, we have Crocus. Another beautiful shade that's gonna have a little bit of brightness to it, at least from what I can see here, but very, very curious to see these on. Crocus is described as a bright, playful pink. Of course, I will be doing looks with both of these collections, but let me know what you would like to see first, Chantecaille or Chanel. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.